Okay, the downside of buying a Japanese farmhouse is that they can be rather cold and poorly insulated, and that is the problem we're facing with the house we've just bought. We've done some things to improve the situation, such as underneath all the floors we have about 3 centimetres of expanded polystyrene underneath all the flooring, and the flooring used to be quite simple. Plain wooden floors, one layer, but now it's 3-ply covered with interlocking wooden flooring boards. Difficult to see because they've been covered with a hardboard cover during the work process, but here we are. These interlocking floorboards over and on top of 3-ply, on top of expanded polystyrene, and in the ceiling, where there was absolutely nothing at all, just a very thin wooden covering to the ceiling, is now this carpet of insulating. It's not anything. It's safe and clean. It says it's not asbestos or rock wool, but the modern equivalent. There, it's fluffy. It feels very much like a duvet, and it's about 4 centimetres, I would say, 5 centimetres. Oh no, it's quite a lot there. When it's sort of allowed to expand, that's all the ceilings are covered in that now. Isn't that nice? Except perhaps my office, which I need to cover myself. The walls, which are wattle and daub, as I've said before, here we can see the wattle on a interior wall that had a cupboard. That's bamboo wattle. Will be covered in plasterboard, so they're going to be more insulated. And some of the rooms, particularly the master bedroom that I'm standing in now, will have the engawa. And an engawa means a corridor that goes around the house. Japanese not stupid. They know that their winters are cold and their summers are hot, so they had a kind of double glazing, which is to create a corridor made of glass around the side of their house. And so, not all the glass doors are here at the moment, but they can create this corridor, which is both made of glass, and so it's about 3 feet of corridor, which is effectively double glazing. And so this whole room can be double glazed in a sense. But the problem is that the exterior windows were very large, lots of air can get in, and there's hot summers and lots of light. But being old wood, they've got gaps, and so this thing here is like I could almost put my finger through there. So these old wooden windows are going to be very drafty. Might not cause so much problem because of the glass doors here, but it will be cold in this corridor, even though the underfloor has been insulated. There'll be a stove here, but again, this room, we got rid of the corridor because we wanted the space. It took up so much space. It took up about, 30% of the room. So we have now got this massive, massive holes to the outside world. I've opened this window so that I can show you something. But even when it's closed, even when it's there's about that much of gap. That is going to need some work. But they're never going to be completely draft-proof because they're just old wooden windows. I don't see much double glazing in Japan, and what there is very expensive. I was thinking of putting another layer of single glazing around the outside of the house, but the trouble is that there'd have to be an awful lot of rails built. One thing we can do in winter is that we can close the storm shutters, and inside this box here see if I can pull one out. I should have practiced. Wow, this is not going to be easy on a stormy night. Oh no, it's alright. These shutters, like in the winter, I don't think this window, but the window at the side, we could just keep shut. And obviously, with the shutters closed, it'd be a lot less drafty. And so perhaps that the window on that side of the house there could be shut during winter, and just leaving this area open to the elements. And there's no particular reason why we need to ever open this particular window, so we could put another layer of window on the outside of it. So in other words, that when we want to open a window, we open this side, and this side can be kept shuttered in the cold months, And this area can be permanently windowed, but unopenable, perhaps. Another thought is that we could turn these shutters into windows, put glass instead of wood in them, but I'm not sure that would work. Probably not. But anyway, inside this box here, stuck on the outside of the house, is more shutters, and they can be pulled over. It's not as easy as it. I won't be able to do it while holding the camera. There used to be a window, especially for shutting the shutters from inside the house, but it's not there now. There's another one of those sets of shutters in a box, both over there and here, so that all windows can be shuttered, particularly in a storm. So there's a problem we're going to face. We live in a glass house in a country with quite cold winters. But we like the architecture. We could have kept the corridors, but they would have taken up too much space. Especially since we wanted to move the kitchen from out of a tiny back room into a central living area, because we don't live in separate spheres like some Japanese families are more inclined to do, with the mother out in the back room in the kitchen and the father in his study elsewhere. Actually, I've kept my study, but I just put Yasuko in the centre of the house. But that was her idea. She wants to be in the centre of the house, not stuffed out somewhere out back. So there it is, and all there is keeping it closed are these kind of screws that just screw the two pieces of wood together. Our carpenter, who disappeared, said that one thing that can be done is to put a piece of metal inside these inside the frame there, so that the frames interlock, and the piece of metal sticking out one side embeds itself in a valley in the other piece of wood. I'm not sure if we can find a carpenter to do that for us now. But now, in mid-November, I'm feeling very comfortable. I am wearing a fleece, but I think I could even wear a t-shirt in here and not be too cold. So that's the drawback of a Japanese farmhouse. And Yasuko's come.